topics from there, and we will talk a little bit more about that. So the traditional CFO, right? We know him as the Chief Financial Officer. Do you think that he can be insulated when you have a tsunami of a perfect storm where all the factors are flowing around him? No businesses are insulated, nor are the people who are running it, and CFO certainly not. So what does that CFO mean? Is he going to be the traditional bean counter? I don't think so. He is going to be the Chief Future Officer. In other words, he is no longer going to be the bean counter, the one guy who will sit and report, the guy who will take care of compliances, the guy who is mostly post facto. But he will be looking or participating more in driving the strategy, making sure that the future is as well prepared as one can be from a business standpoint. There are increasing demands on the CFO as he takes on these new roles. And if you think about it, again, as was mentioned in the morning, right? CFOs are taking new role. They're getting a seat at the board table where the strategies are decided, discussed, decisions made. CFOs are co-leading businesses with CEOs. And gentlemen, a lot of the CFOs are just a hyphen away from becoming CEOs, and several of them have become. In other words, they are becoming like a Swiss knife, but with specialist knowledge. So what does the board expect of the CFO? I'm sorry, we are a little bit lagged on the presentation, so we had a little technical issues, but I'll try to keep up with it. So what does the board expect of the CFO? There are several things that it expects. It expects the CFO to be the independent voice of reason. It expects it to bring the rigor and discipline of a financial function. It also expects to have the conviction to kind of say the hard truths. And one of them comes from identifying and highlighting risks. So let's look at the CFO at the board. Where is it that he can bring value? And by the way, our topic which describes CFO from the boardroom to the bottom line, the bottom line is now a new bottom line. Typically, finance function thinks of bottom line as profit, right? The bottom line of the P&L. Friends, with the changing role of the CFO, the bottom line will change into anything that he does. If there is a new project that's coming up, whether it is capital allocation, whether there is a project that needs to be divested of, whether there needs to be a JV, any of the matters, there's a new bottom line, which essentially means validated by the CFO. So taking a little different approach from morning where they said CFO is no longer responsible. Well, if you are sitting at the board where you're part of decision making, you will be responsible. So we will